Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is Retro Nostalgia Fanatic 2. Sorry I have not made a video for a while, and I apologize for that. The reason why is because I've been busy with schoolwork and even work in general outside of school. So I hope you forgive me. I'm still in high school. This is my final year, but I hope you're all doing well right now, because today I got my entire UK, well, some of them are UK, but there's a few other non-UK Beatle albums in this collection that I got here, my personal collection. And I just want to let you know this is not all of the albums I got out. Most of them, these are most of the UK albums. I got some US albums that I'll show you, but I got a separate video coming up in about a week to do that, so I hope you enjoy this one right now. So let's begin. First one's Please Please Me. This is a 2014 mono reissue. It has these flip backs right here. There's a flip back. This one you can't see, but it's a flip back. There's another flip back. This one was made by Ernest J. Day, which is awesome. And what's crazy is these 2014 reissues. I have quite a few of these, spoiler alert. They actually have the original, they use the original master tapes. And that's what I love about these. Though, truth be told, they had to remake Please Please Me's master tape because the original one was worn out and didn't sound as good, so they had to make a new master tape. But still, nevertheless, it's now analog tape, and I love that. And I love the albums in mono anyway. I prefer mono over stereo, with a few exceptions I'll get to later on. There's the back, Please Please Me. Put the sleeve over here. Here's the record here. Now, for most of these albums, I had to get rid of some of the inner sleeves because, for one, I didn't like them. And two, with the mono reissues, I really wanted to recreate the original inner sleeves, so I didn't recreate it myself. I actually bought the original inner sleeve for a few of my mono reissues from 2014. Anyway, here's the original Ematex inner sleeve that came with this album back in March 1963. Even the stereo first pressing came with this, and even among other later variations from that year. And then among that is the main record itself. There's the record here. It's a black and gold Parlophone label, which is awesome. It's kind of sad they never kept this label. I actually prefer this over the black and yellow label. Though I'll tell you what, one thing I prefer about the black and gold is the font of the word Parlophone. But I do like how the later pressings add recording first publish. That's one pro to the later pressings, but if they add recording first publish here, I would have liked that even more. But yeah, it's a recreation of the first pressing, which my goal is to get a black and gold verse mono and stereo pressing of Please Please Me. Speaking of stereo, here's a 1976 UK reissue of Please Please Me in stereo. This is actually a barely played copy. The original owner of this only played this album 10 times. He wasn't a big fan of Please Please Me, and it's amazing he kept it for a while. But I got this album from him in 2016, and it was awesome. He took very good care of this album back when it came out in a record store that sold UK imports, and this was one of them. It was sealed when he got it. So it's in near mint condition. There's absolutely no creases whatsoever, and I love it. And the record here, it's a black and silver Parlophone 2-box pressing from 1976 with the original inner sleeve. This inner sleeve came with the record. There's some variations that came with just a paper inner sleeve similar to this, but this one has the polyester plastic, which I like better. But this record plays flawless, and I'm happy to have that. So, up next, we guys with the Beatles in mono. This album, I never heard the stereo version of With the Beatles, ever. I mean, I've heard the US albums in fake stereo, but I've never heard With the Beatles in stereo. You guys gotta let me know how it sounds. but this is a 2014 mono copy. It has the flip backs, and this one, unlike Please Please Me, with the Beatles, Hard Day's Night, Beatles for Sale, Help, Rubber Soul, Revolver, Sgt. Pepper's, and the White Album, as well as Magical Mystery Tour, all had their first pressing master tapes used on these records. And this one looks amazing. I love it. It's made by Garrett and Lofthouse, too. I love the sleeve very much. Here's the record. I don't have the original inner sleeve with this one as well, and that's because, ironically, 12-year-old me, when I got this on Christmas Day with the Beatles, came with the inner sleeve, but I gave it to another record that was a good album, and I didn't want it to be in a shitty paper sleeve, so I used this album's original inner sleeve for that record, and so I gave this one a new inner sleeve. But I'm going to get some anti-static record sleeves for my records. Here's with the Beatles. What's interesting is that if I gently take this out, because I don't want to get any scratches on my albums. Hate scratches. And skips. With the Beatles, it's very hard to tell, but right below on the last track, Money, all the credits are not right by each song like the original pressing. They're all right there. If you can see my thumb, all these small writing right below the song credits. The song titles with the musician credits are actually the music companies. And Joe B is credited to track 7, which is Money, just like the first pressing. And that was a misprint originally, so that's weird. I just wanted to point that out. And it sounds beautiful. That copy was in beautiful condition, but sadly I don't have a original copy of With the Beatles or any pressing of With the Beatles in stereo. That's why I never heard it in stereo. But we've got a UK first pressing of Hard Day's Night in mono, my first original pressing right here. Has the flipbacks, made by Garrett and Lofthouse. And the record, now this was actually a good find because here's the original inner sleeve. And also, this record came with a bonus inner sleeve. The best inner sleeve you could possibly get for your records, the Mobile Fidelity sleeve. And this copy right here, I don't know if you could see it, but this is the third variation with the sans serif font, thin sans serif font, and the songs were reorganized. The original, the track I Should Have Known Better, this line with Hard Day's Night's name being written on, the first pressing would just say I should have, and then known better's on the second line with if I fell. This is the third variation, the final variation of the first pressing. And this record sounds flawless. I played it, there's absolutely no cracks or pops. The sleeve is not in good condition as the album itself on vinyl, because the vinyl sounds beautiful, and I'm very happy I found this for $40. It's definitely worth it. Sorry if the camera's moving. Alright, yeah. That's a nice appreciation I have. Next we have is a UK 2014 mono reissue of Hard Day's Night. Again, has the flipbacks with Garrett and Lofthouse making the sleeves. And just like Please Please Me, sorry about the camera, Please Me as well as Hard Day's Night came with this Ematex inner sleeve where it advertises the album. This came out back in 1964 when the album was released first. And then here's the actual record with its original authentic inner sleeve with the 2014 reissue. This one here is actually the original inner sleeve that came with all the mono reissues, except for the White Album, which I'll show you later. But I put the sticker that was on the shrink wrap on here too. This is the genuine inner sleeve that came with the record. And another thing you can tell, nowhere do you see the sold, it doesn't have the sold in UK text under the Parlophone label. And also, it has the chubby font too. Up next we got is a UK 1-box stereo pressing of Hard Day's Night. Has the flip backs made by Garrett and Lofthouse. This is a small stereo font. This is a 1-box label. Here's the original advertisement inner sleeve that came with the record from 1970 or late 69. And here's a record. This one, side 1, again, plays flawless. But side 2, there's 2 scratches on Any Time at All. That's the only flaw of this record, but the rest of the record plays great. And the scratches don't affect the play either. Actually, one scratch does. The other scratch doesn't, fortunately. So I'm happy about that. Anyway, here's Beatles Sale in mono. 2014 UK release. And I'll actually show you the gatefold. It'll be quick. Here's part of it with the flip backs. Very awesome gatefold. I love this gatefold. Let's see if it focuses. There we go. Very nice gatefold. I really love this cropped picture of the Beatles. I don't have a stereo copy of With the Beatles, but I'm planning to get it for sure. Here's the record. Not the original inner sleeve that came with the record in 2014, but it's a nice German inner sleeve I found. I decorated it to make it look like a company sleeve. And no, the record wasn't in the inner sleeve when I drew on the inner sleeve. I took the record out while doing this. I would never draw on inner sleeves with records in them. And the record plays near mint flawless too. Next we have is Help, one of my favorite albums. Here's a 2014 UK mono pressing, not the original. It has the flip backs, just like the first pressing. Let's see if the camera focuses. It's made by Garrett and Lofthouse. Sadly, this one, I don't know how, but for some odd reason, when I got this album, there's a curse. Side 1 plays flawless. Here's the record, by the way. Doesn't have the sold in UK under the Parlophone. And what's sad is that there's 4 skips on side 2, but side 1 plays flawless. Thank God. Side 2 sadly has a skip on 4 songs. Act Naturally, You Like Me Too Much, and Tell Me What You See, with Yesterday having a skip. That's the only flaw, but the rest of the album plays great. I'm planning to get an upgrade on that mono reissue, though it might be really hard now, as the mono reissues of the Beatles albums are discontinued now. So I'm finding those might be a little more expensive now. Anyway, here's a UK stereo early 1971 2-box copy of Help. Nowhere do you see stereo on the top here. It doesn't say stereo at all. And what's interesting is that this one has a bottom flip back and a top flip back. But this flip back is missing, it's because it's actually glued inside the sleeve, meaning that's sticking in. The flip back is there, it's just glued in behind this cardboard here. So that's why you don't see it. But it's there. And this copy in stereo of Help plays flawless. There's absolutely no flaws whatsoever. And here's the record. Early 2-box pressing with the Made in Great Britain text and the Gramophone Co. So it's 1971 pressing. Up next is Rubber Soul. This is a 2014 model reissue. Flip backs. You guys gonna get it now. Here's the original inner sleeve that came with the first pressing back in 1965. Here's the album in an anti-static inner sleeve. This copy plays flawless. Here's a flawed copy of Rubber Soul in stereo, and it's a one-box copy. Flip back sleeve from 1970. Just like Hard Day's Night, it's a one-box. This copy of Rubber Soul sadly has a skip on Norwegian Wood. Other than that, though, the rest of the record plays great. But it's sad. It does have a skip on Norwegian Wood. But that's the only flaw. The rest of the record plays good. Here's Revolver, UK Model 2014 reissue. Flip back sleeve. Here's the original inner sleeve that came with the album. It's a little different than the first 6 albums. Black and yellow Parlophone pressing with Tomorrow Never Knows having the correct remix, which is RM8, not the rare remix 11. Here we have a really rare UK model first pressing of Collection of Beatles oldies but goldies. This one's a little bit dirty, but most of the songs play great on it. The only song that has a flaw is Yellow Submarine and I Want to Hold Your Hand. So songs, I'm sorry. Sadly, there's a skip on Yellow Submarine and I Want to Hold Your Hand, but other than that, the rest of the record plays great. Here's the record. There's the Soul in UK text under the Parlophone label. Up next is a UK stereo one-box pressing of Collection of Beatles oldies. Just like Help, you don't see stereo on the spine there. There's the back. This one's in much better condition. And this one actually plays flawless. Here's the original inner sleeve. And here's the record. UK one-box pressing. This is the 3rd pressing. And it plays great, too. Here's a barely played 2014 copy of Sgt. Pepper's UK mono reissue from 2014. It plays flawless, too. I've only played this album 6 times. And here's the record. Here's the psychedelic inner sleeve and the cutout. And then here we got a 2017 stereo reissue of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Unlike the mono reissue, this one comes with the bonus. Just a little gatefold booklet. Talks about the album. Here's another cutout. And the psychedelic inner sleeve. Here's the record. What's interesting is the 2017 reissue of Sgt. Pepper's was made in the US instead of the European Union or the UK, which is weird. Anyway, here's Magical Mystery Tour 2014 reissue. Sadly, the booklet is ripped on this one. I would show it to you, but it is ripped, so the booklet fell out. That's a flaw, sadly, and there's a skip on Baby You're a Rich Man, but it's a small skip, and it's on the very end of the song, so it's not too big a deal. Other than that, rest of this album plays great. It's the record. Ooh, here's the White Album. UK Mono 2014 reissue. My number is 9042346. There's the back. looks blank. Here's the gatefold. It's a top loader too. And this one has the flip back right here, as well as this side right here, another flip back. There you can see it's a poster from the album. I would unfold this, but it's too big for the camera screen, so this is part of it. You've probably seen it many times anyway. I have, for sure. Here's disc 1 with its original inner sleeve. Now, this one, I've actually cut the corners on this. But other than that, it's the original inner sleeve from 2014. Here's the photos of George, Ringo, John Lennon, and Paul. Oops. Paul just fell on his face. There you go, Paul. And then here's disc 2. Now, disc 2, I also tried. I had the original inner sleeve, black inner sleeve, but I destroyed it and messed it up. Silly me. But I'm going to try to find a reproduction sleeve that caps the original black inner sleeve. Anyway, it's in this inner sleeve for now, for disc 2. Alright. My last mono album is Yellow Submarine. It's not a UK pressing. It's a counterfeit 2000-something pressing. I don't know why, but this is a counterfeit. Even though it's a mono, Japanese mono copy of Yellow Submarine, a counterfeit pressing, like I said. And you can tell, this one doesn't have flipbacks. And right there it says, if my camera can focus, there it's in Japanese, and it says EMI Odeon, which was the company that made the Beatles albums in Japan. But hey, at least I could say I have a mono copy. Here's the record. Now, to tell this, all authentic, genuine Japanese Beatles albums are on red vinyl. Here's the record label. Looks authentic at first, but when you take it out, just for proof, it's a counterfeit. It's on black vinyl. No Japanese record is on black vinyl for the Beatles. But the record, despite it being a counterfeit, this record, I'm happy to have at least some kind of mono pressing. And it actually plays flawless. There's absolutely no skips whatsoever on this album. So I'm planning to take care of this counterfeit copy. So I'm very happy to have a mono copy, as that was the last mono album the Beatles made, and it's very, very damn hard to find an authentic UK mono pressing. Anyway, on to Abbey Road. This is the 2012 reissue. This is probably it's a great 2012 reissue, but it's probably my least favorite types of reissues for all the Beatles albums. It's digitally remastered, and I don't like that, but it's alright. Here's Abbey Road sleeve. Abbey Road looks closest to the original, in my opinion. And it doesn't include its original inner sleeve. That's alright. Here's the 70s EMI inner sleeve that I randomly put with the album. And here's the record itself. And interestingly, side 2, it doesn't even credit Her Majesty. Probably just referencing the first pressing of Abbey Road. Which is cool, in my opinion. I like that little reference. And then, the last Beatles album ever, Let It Be. But this is the US first pressing of Let It Be. This is a gatefold. It's in horrid condition. Well, for the sleeve, I'll tell you what, it's not in bad condition. Here's the gatefold. But the record has a few skips. And it has a lot of static. And I'm planning to get an upgrade for sure. There you can see that's the Let It Be record in that plain white inner sleeve. Hold on just a second. There we go. Alright. Red Apple label. And there's no credits for Maggie May whatsoever. Maggie May doesn't have any credits. So that's the first pressing. And now, last few albums I have This is Beatles 62 to 66. This is a UK first pressing. Very first pressing. Here's the inner sleeve. Here's the record. First pressing. It is an original. Here's the second inner sleeve with the lyrics of each song. And here's disc 2. First pressing. And then the last album we got here's the Beatles 1967 to 1970. This one's not a first pressing. It's a UK 2014 reissue. Here's a little slip or booklet. It's not really a booklet, it's just a little sheet with information about the Beatles during this era, which is cool. Here's record 1. Here's an extra inner sleeve. And finally, record 2 with a laminated inner sleeve. It's really weird how thick this one is. This one doesn't have the inner sleeve, but I'm planning to get an inner sleeve. I've only played this one 3 times. Here's the record. It's stereo. Alright, well that concludes my Beatles collection for now. I got more to show you in the future. I'll make another part 2 to this video, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching.